Tomidal. The dragonfly kills 95% of everything it hunts. Hook. It has a 95% kill rate, the highest of any predator on Earth. Open loop. What makes a dragonfly so lethal that nothing else comes close? Jaw drop fact. Dragonflies intercept prey mid-air by calculating the future position of the target, a form of predictive geometry most fighter jets only recently mastered. Angle. Superlative. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 9. Title. Why a dragonfly is more lethal than a great white. Hook. Pound for pound, this insect is a more effective killer than a great white shark. Open loop. How does a creature with a brain the size of a sesame seed outperform the ocean's apex predator? Jaw drop. Fact. 95% hunt success rate versus 150% for great whites, and dragonflies have been doing it for 300 million years. Angle. VS format. Hook strength. 8. Curiosity gap. 9. Title. The insect that has never evolved, because it never had to. Hook. This insect has not meaningfully changed in 300 million years because nothing has ever been able to compete with it. Open loop. What does a creature look like when evolution has nothing left to improve? Jaw drop fact. Modern dragonflies are nearly identical to fossils from the Carboniferous period when they had wingspans of 70 centimeters. Angle. Mystery. Hook strength. 7. Curiosity gap. 9. Title. Dragonfly, the perfect killing machine. Hook. 9 out of every 10 animals it chases are dead within seconds. Open loop. What biological weapons does a dragonfly carry that make it this unstoppable? A jaw drop. Fact. 4 wings operated independently allow it to fly backwards, sideways, and hover, moves no other insect can fully replicate. Angle. Superlative. Hook strength. 8. Curiosity gap. 7. Title. This ancient hunter has a 95% kill rate. Hook. For 300 million years, one predator has hunted with a 95% success rate, and scientists are only now understanding why. Open loop. What is the neurological secret that makes a dragonfly almost impossible to escape? Jaw drop fact. Dragonflies use selective attention, isolating a single target inside a swarm and mentally filtering out all others. A cognitive trick once thought to be uniquely human. Angle. Mystery, superlative. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 10. Title. The dragonfly's brain trick. No other animal has. Hook. There is exactly one animal on Earth that can lock onto a single moving target inside a swirling crowd and never lose it. And it is not a hawk, not a cheetah, not a human. Open loop. What is the brain trick that makes a dragonfly's mind unlike any other? Jaw drop fact. Dragonflies use neural object selective attention, intercepting prey using predictive flight paths, not reactive chasing. 90% of neurons shut everything else out. Angle. Mystery. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 10. Title. The world's oldest apex predator is an insect. Hook. The world's oldest apex predator is not a shark, not a crocodile. It is an insect hovering above your garden pond right now. Open loop. How has a creature this small stayed at the top of the food chain for longer than dinosaurs existed? Jaw drop fact. Dragonflies predate dinosaurs by 100 million years and have outlasted every mass extinction event in Earth's history. Angle. Superlative chalk. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 8. Title. Why nothing in nature can outrun a dragonfly. Hook. At full speed, a dragonfly covers 300 times its own body length per second, a ratio that makes a cheetah look slow. Open loop. How does something this small move faster, think faster, and kill more efficiently than any predator alive? Jaw drop fact. Proportionally, 300 body lengths per second would be equivalent to a human running at over 2,000 km/h. Angle. Superlative VS format. Hook strength, 8. Curiosity gap, 7. Title. Dragonfly versus every predator, nothing compares. Hook. Lions succeed on roughly 25% of their hunts. Dragonflies succeed on 95%, open loop. What does the dragonfly have that every other predator, from lion to great white, simply does not? Jaw-drop fact. No other predator on the planet, across any size class, consistently achieves a hunt success rate above 60%. Angle. VS format. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 8. Title. The killing machine hiding in your backyard. Hook. The most efficient predator ever to exist on this planet is not in a jungle, not in the ocean. It is hovering 6 feet from where you are sitting right now. Open loop. What makes this backyard insect deadlier in pure hunting terms than anything else alive? Jaw-drop fact. 95% kill rate, 360-degree vision, covering almost the entire sphere around its head, and a brain that runs predictive interception algorithms faster than any known biological system. Angle. Chalk was superlative. Hook strength. 9. Curiosity gap. 8. For 300 million years, one predator has hunted with a 95% success rate. And scientists are only now beginning to understand why. Lions catch their prey about 1 in 4 attempts. Great white sharks, roughly 1 in 2. The dragonfly, this thumb-sized insect you have ignored your entire life, misses almost nothing. And the weapon it uses is not venom, not size, not brute strength. It is something inside its brain that no other creature on Earth fully shares. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what that weapon is, and why engineers are now copying it to build the next generation of military drones. Let us start with what 95% actually means. In any predator on this planet, across every ecosystem, every size, every hunting strategy, a kill rate above 60% is considered elite. Wolves average around 20%. Cheetahs, the land animal most associated with speed, succeed on fewer than half their chases. Even the Harris hawk, one of nature's most intelligent aerial hunters, lands its target about 50% of the time. The dragonfly makes all of them look like amateurs. In studies conducted at Harvard University, researchers tracked individual dragonflies hunting in controlled conditions and recorded kill rates consistently between 90 and 95%. In some individual runs, a single dragonfly caught prey on every single attempt, 100%, over dozens of consecutive hunts. That number is not a rounding error. That is not a lucky streak. That is the product of 300 million years of engineering, so precise that evolution has barely touched the blueprint since. To understand what a dragonfly is, you first have to understand how long it has been doing this. The earliest dragonfly-like insects appear in the fossil record roughly 325 million years ago. In the Carboniferous period, when Earth's atmosphere was so oxygen-rich that insects could grow to sizes that feel like science fiction. The largest, Meganeuropsis permiana, had a wingspan approaching 70 centimeters. That is broader than a crow. It patrolled prehistoric skies like a predator drone before the concept of a predator drone existed. Dinosaurs would not appear for another 100 million years. And when the asteroid hit 66 million years ago and erased 3/4 of all species on the planet, the dragonfly flew straight through it. It has survived every mass extinction event in Earth's history, 5 of them. And it has done so without needing to fundamentally change. Because when your design is already this close to perfect, there is nothing left to improve. Now let us look at the hardware. A dragonfly has 4 wings. That alone is not unusual. What is unusual is that each wing is powered by its own independent set of muscles, and each wing can be angled, tilted, and adjusted completely separately from the others. This gives it a flight capability no other insect fully replicates. It can hover with absolute stillness. It can fly backwards at speed. It can tilt sideways, bank, and accelerate in any direction from a dead stop. Its legs are almost useless for walking. They are angled forward and lined with spines, and during flight they lock together to form a capture basket, a living net that closes around prey in mid-air. The strike itself takes roughly 30 milliseconds. For context, a human blink takes between 100 and 400 milliseconds. The prey does not have time to register what happened. The success rate of the physical strike, once the dragonfly has committed, is close to 100%. The prey is dead before it understands it was targeted. But here is where it gets genuinely strange. Here is the part that separates the dragonfly from every other hunter. Those enormous compound eyes cover roughly 80% of the dragonfly's head. They contain up to 30,000 individual lenses and can detect ultraviolet light, polarized light, and movement across almost a full 360-degree sphere simultaneously. But vision alone does not explain a 95% kill rate. Plenty of animals have excellent vision. What the dragonfly has is something rarer. Imagine a cloud of 100 mosquitoes swirling in front of you, every one of them moving in a different direction at a different speed. Now, without moving your eyes, without losing the signal for even a fraction of a second, lock onto one single mosquito and track it through that chaos until it is dead. That is what a dragonfly does. Every time. Researchers call this selective attention, and until relatively recently, scientists believed it was a cognitive ability limited to large-brained vertebrates, primates, dolphins, corvids. What they found inside a dragonfly's brain overturned that assumption. A specialized cluster of neurons, now called target selective descending neurons, fires when the dragonfly locks onto a target. When that cluster activates, roughly 97% of the brain's visual processing shuts down input from everything else. The swarm disappears. The background disappears. One target remains. And then, and this is the part that made engineers sit up, the dragonfly does not chase the prey. It calculates where the prey will be and flies to that point in space. It is not reacting. It is predicting, running a continuous flight path algorithm in real time, adjusting for wind, for the prey's acceleration, for every micro-correction the target makes. All of this happening in a brain the size of 2 grains of rice. In 2012, a team at the Howard Hughes Medical Institute published research on dragonfly neurology that caught the attention of robotics engineers and defense researchers. The predictive interception algorithm the dragonfly runs, the precise neural sequence that makes it fly to where the prey will be rather than where it is, turned out to be mathematically elegant enough to reverse engineer. Engineers building autonomous drones now use dragonfly-inspired targeting systems to track fast-moving objects in cluttered environments. The same cognitive structure that a 300-million-year-old insect runs on instinct now guides some of the most sophisticated tracking software humans have built. Nature solved this problem hundreds of millions of years before we had the mathematics to describe what it was doing. There is one more thing about dragonflies that most people have no idea exists. Every year, millions of globe skimmer dragonflies, Pantala flavescens, make a transoceanic migration of roughly 14,000 to 18,000 kilometers, crossing the Indian Ocean between India and East Africa. This is the longest known migration of any insect on Earth. They travel on seasonal wind systems, riding high-altitude air currents that carry them across open ocean, landing on islands thousands of kilometers apart. They carry no food. They drink from rainwater on the wing, and they time their journey to follow the monsoons, tracking rainfall patterns across a hemisphere with a brain that weighs less than a raindrop. We started with a number, 95%, a kill rate so high it barely seems real. And now you know why it is real. 300 million years of refinement, 4 independently powered wings, a capture rate of 30 milliseconds, compound eyes with 30,000 lenses, and a brain that runs predictive interception geometry so efficient that human engineers are still catching up to it. The dragonfly does not chase its prey. It is already there, waiting, at the exact point in space where the prey will arrive. It was never reacting. It was always thinking ahead. That is not luck. That is not instinct in any simple sense of the word. That is 300 million years of a design that was so good the first time that the universe never asked for a revision. The most efficient predator that has ever lived, and it is outside your window right now. If this changed the way you see the world around you, subscribe. There are creatures out there that will keep doing that. And we are just getting started. Next time, the animal with the fastest punch in nature. A strike so powerful it boils the water around it. That story is coming soon. Harvard University Dragonfly kill rate studies confirm institution and publication. Earliest fossil date: 325 million years ago. Cross-check current paleontological consensus. Meganeuropsis permiana wingspan, 70 centimeters. Verify latest fossil measurement, 30 milliseconds strike time, confirm source. Up to 30,000 individual lenses in compound eye. Verify per species accuracy. Target selective descending neurons, 97% figure, confirm Howard Hughes. Neuroscience source, Howard Hughes Medical Institute. 2012 publication, confirm year and institution, globe skimmer migration distance, 14,000 to 18,000 kilometers. Verify current estimate.